There's been a little bit of a controversy in regards to a cover story the Esquire magazine wanted to run. Esquire's cover story on what it's like to be a white teenager in Wisconsin stirs controversy for being tone deaf. Esquire magazine stirred up the latest social media controversy for its March cover story and again made Wisconsin a stand-in for the state of our country. The story, released during Black History Month, profiles a 17-year-old white boy growing up in West Bend in the time of Trump and #MeToo. Ryan Morgan, a senior at West Bend High School, loves hunting and the Packers. He plays video games and has a girlfriend. In the words of Esquire's editor-in-chief Jay Fielding, we asked Jen to do what we asked Jen to do, and she did brilliantly. It was to look at our divided country through the eyes of one kid. The cover features Ryan in his bedroom with the cover line, "An American boy, what it's like to grow up white, middle class and male in the era of social media, school shootings, toxic masculinity, #MeToo and a divided country." Now this is the thing that I don't get. Why does the perspective of this person not matter? This is the thing I don't understand. It's a case of, it's that whole fucking racism to white sort of thing. You're white and middle class, so your opinion's irrelevant. We don't care. I mean, if that's the case, criticise them for running the story all you want. Just don't read it then. Just don't read it. If you're not interested in the media, then don't consume that media. This is the thing that I'm not understanding, but I'll go on with the article anyway. The critique on Twitter and elsewhere is that the article is tone deaf and uses the #MeToo movement, the point of which was to show that no one was listening to women, people of colour and LGBTQ. I thought Me Too was about rape of women, but okay, apparently it's moulded into something else now. To tell yet another story about a white, straight, middle-class male. It struck me as a sort of an odd choice for Esquire, who claims they're doing the series on experiences of different young people, and that's the thing I wanted to touch on. Said Alana Levine, a journalism, advertising and media studies professor at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, to have started with a straight white man. I'm sort of shocked that no one there thought how that might read. Right, now this is the thing, is apparently they're doing it as part of a series. Right, so it's going to be a case of they're going to do another story on, for example, a working class LGBT person, a middle class black person, a middle class trans person, a working class Latino and stuff like that as well. And it's basically just to sort of get an understanding of the perspectives of things like Me Too, Trump, our divided I was going to say, even though this is America, I'm going to say our divided country, because let's face it, America and the UK are pretty goddamn divided right now. I think it's important to understand the perspectives of all these people. Everyone says it. I'm not down with intersectionality. I'm definitely not down with intersectionality, but it is true that, different people from different backgrounds have different experiences and therefore form different perspectives, and a great way of understanding why a person thinks the way they do is to understand their perspective. I don't see a problem with that. So I think the issue that people seem to take is that they started with the white guy. From a marketing standpoint, that's pretty genius, because I think they knew that people were going to be pissed off about it. It was going to do the rounds, and more people would tune in to sort of, see the controversy, and then from there they would read about the white guy, and then after that they would read about everybody else that they want to include in the story. And, a lot of people sort of form their politics and perspectives based around their identity. So I think it's good to understand their perspectives and why they form them, because then that'll start a conversation. I think that's a good thing. I think that's a very, very good thing. Like, understanding where people are coming from is the first step to reaching middle ground with them and reaching, overall understanding with their politics. I think if this educates people on another person's perspective, that's good. Okay, they started with the white guy. They had to start fucking somewhere, didn't they? But again, I think that was probably on purpose, because from a marketing perspective, that's going to get the tongues wagging. Because this is the thing, is like, yeah, I'm mean to people on Twitter. I'm mean to people. Usually, you get certain people that are just malicious and malevolent. They're just pretty evil. For example, when I commented, when Majid Nawaz got assaulted, I commented on the status, saying, hope you're all right. And the first thing everybody did was start going, well, you're in UKIP, you're racist, oh, why are you pretending to care? And all that, and I'm like, fucking hell, man, I'm wishing a guy well, I'm wishing a guy's alright, and people still saw that as an opportunity to go, UKIP racist, blah, blah, and just the usual bullshit. So, people like that, I've no time for, people like that are, we call them Westboroughs. No amount of facts are going to make them change their mind. They're complete ideologues, so that's why I just take the piss out of them instead. But the fact that they believe that shows the great effect that lying media can have. Because it's quite cringy to use this term, but I can't think of a better one. They're sheep. They're just complete sheep that believe everything that gets spoon-fed to them. They're pretty dependent and devoted to the media, like mummy's teat. But people like that, you're never going to get anywhere with. But there are other people who are open to a conversation and want to actually have a chat with you. And people like that, I have all the time in the world for. If people want to come forward and have an honest debate and only focus on the facts, then I have all the time in the world for those people. I am more than happy to have a conversation with them. And I think that what Esquire is trying to do will contribute greatly towards that. If they basically get these stories out there, and everyone has a greater understanding of the perspectives of different people and why they hold their beliefs, then that's just lubricant for the conversation that will help it go over a lot more smoothly. If the more people understand each other, the more we're going to be able to progress, in an ideology sense. Because this is one thing that I'm seeing as well. People see communists and Nazis, and they just go, it's irredeemable, don't talk to them, bash them, shut them down, and all that type of shit. But as far as we can see so far, that doesn't work. Doing that to these people, it simply does not work. But if you have an understanding as to why, Nazis and communists don't just happen, right? They don't just spring out of the ground for absolutely no reason. Like there is a reason that people hold those types of beliefs, and you're not going to understand why they hold those beliefs unless they talk to them. Like, you need to speak to these people to understand why they hold that belief system. Too many people just go directly for the symptoms instead of the root cause. Like, see if everyone just goes, oh, you're a Nazi? That's all I need to know. I'm going to get you fired. I'm going to do this to you. Oh, you're a communist? Oh, I'm going to write to your school and all that and try and get you kicked out. Like, that literally does nothing. That does nothing to help. All that does is make the person more ingrained in their beliefs, because the best way to get... One thing that makes people hold on to their belief system a lot harder than they usually do is when they feel they're under attack. That's a pretty common one. But if you actually speak to these people, approach them friendly. I understand with Nazis and communists, it's a hard thing to do, right? It is a hard thing to do, but the only way you're going to be able to reach these people is through understanding. Come down to their level, speak to them, try and ascertain why they hold the beliefs that they do, and then work on it from there. Like, for example, there's a documentary I've been meaning to get around to watching. I haven't watched it yet, but it's about a black gentleman who speaks to the KKK. He hangs out with them, he befriends them, and ultimately, when they get a better understanding of each other, these guys leave the KKK. There was actually a brilliant story of an old black preacher that moved into a town, and he got the treatment of the burning cross on his lawn and get harassed by clan members and all that stuff as well, but he just had such a good, positive, funny and comical outlook, and he reached out to these guys, and it ended up one of the guys who was quite high up in the KKK left because of this man, because the guy opened up to them and they had a conversation and they got a better understanding of each other. Like that. So that shows it works. That shows it works if you reach out and befriend these people and get them to have a better understanding of where you're coming from, but then you need to make the effort of understanding where they're coming from. That works. That works in bringing people back from extremism. So you'll get people that will attack you for having conversations with these people. Just ignore them. Just ignore those people. They don't have any idea what they're talking about. But what Esquire is doing is a good step towards that. Different people from different backgrounds do have different experiences. And if you have a conversation with them and get a better understanding of why they hold these beliefs, then that will help you reach a middle ground and bring everyone towards the centre. where things are nice and sensible.